This is Autoroute 20 East.
After 3 kilometers, keep left, Trans-Canada TC, Highway 20, eastbound, towards Quebec.
And by Quebec, they don't mean the province, but the Quebec city. The city of Quebec. I still have this excavator, so that's where I'm going. It's a dealer, heavy equipment dealer, just west of Quebec City, like a western suburb of Quebec City. And the town is called Saint Augustine. I spent probably 2 hours at the border today because it was a manual clearance. Had to wait for the paperwork from the broker inside the customs office, but they were pretty nice. My only disappointment was that there was a coffee machine, and I wanted coffee so bad, you know, but there was no signs on it. I went to the desk and I said, "Is the coffee free?" Because, you know, you never know, right? And they said, no, you have to put coins in it. So at least the menu was in English. So I scrolled through various choices and I found out that medium coffee was $1.50, which is not too bad, but I only have $10 US on me. And that's always a problem, you know, when you cross the border. They never have machines that take both currencies. Let's say if you're at the border crossing, doesn't matter, from Canada into US, from US into Canada, if you're stuck in the building,
Trans-Canada TC, Highway 20, eastbound, towards Quebec, for 212 kilometers.
so yeah, if you're stuck in the building, you must have the local currency. That's good. Wow, this guy is good. Well, somehow I managed to get to the consignee without getting a ticket. Because of course, you know, with these loads, Uh-oh. I tried to take it out. Hold on, let me put it on my head. Funny. But no panic, no need to panic. I have a spare one. And I asked this guy, I said, are you gonna unload or you want me to unload? And he said, oh, it's okay, I'm pretty good. And as you saw, the guy didn't exaggerate. I never saw people use boom. So basically I asked him not to rip off the ramps, right? Like I said, please put the boom down on the ground. But I didn't mean like that, like second time he did, you know? So he basically, as you saw, he kept the excavator totally off the ramps. So he kind of was too cautious, you know? And looks like this is a new dealer. You know, they don't have many machines yet here. All right, what are we doing? Okay, I was in a rush because this guy, he started the excavator. I was still sending my email to the dispatch, you know. And he came out, told me where to drop it. And then I came here to this spot and I hardly had time to hit my brakes, and then I heard like this kind of sound. I look in the mirror and he took the sock off the excavator and started it. You know, that always puts pressure on the driver, right? So now I have to hustle and take all the chains off. But the guy was very helpful, very nice, very polite, you know. But sometimes I don't really like this house cleaning, you know. Like the actual unloading takes like 10 minutes, you know. Taking out the chains, where loading takes, I don't know, 2 hours, where you know, put all your flags on and signs and chains. But unloading is unhooking chains. It's so easy. Then all you gotta do is just hide them away. And you don't have to be too gentle with them. I hope I didn't screw up. I put shorter ones in here, longer ones in here. Okay. And these are like 6 foot long chains. And the other ones are, I think, 10. And I already took the sign off on the front. By the way, I just looked at this grease and it reminded me of a problem I've been having recently with the Honda. It keeps you know, rusting. Because, you know, it's not now, but when it was bad weather, right? And so now when I pull the throttle, pretty much nothing happens, you know. I noticed that a couple of times. I thought I was mistaken. No, like the RPM basically hardly changes. Okay, I'm gonna leave one chain and one binder for the our trigger boards. And one thing I learned, you know, you always learn something new, that Quebec does not recognize my lift axle. So when I crossed the border, I had to lift it. Then I moved my fifth wheel, but I was like 46,000 on the drives, you know. My maximum 14,600 on the steers. I just felt sorry for the truck. It's all legal, but it's like too much weight because they don't recognize the axle when the controls are inside the cab. But the funny thing is that when I look at my skill ticket, I only had like 51,000 on the trailer. So basically, this is not good. For the excavator, this doesn't work. So this board should have been here. So basically now, from now on, I'll be loading them basically all the way to the back, as long as the boom stays inside the trailer, you know. Because now the end of the boom was like this, and that's the 2,000 pounds I need to take off, you know, the front, and add to the trailer. But I don't know, I don't come here often. Somehow I didn't realize that. It's a good thing that my dispatch told me, you know. They called me and they said, hey, you know that you cannot drive with your lift axle down once you cross the border. I said no, and they said, well, now you know, you have your warning. Okay. And of course in the morning I changed my signs, and I just put these D signs on top of the over what's that sign? The American sign. Oversized load. New message, dispatch, truck number, load is delivered. What's next? They said they were working on a load, but it fell through. But now it's just after 3 on Friday, and this is Quebec, so I wonder what I'm doing. Usually I don't ask, I just say load is delivered. but this being Friday kind of changes things. No load. Dispatch says they tried all kinds of venues and everybody says it's slow. Trucks are sitting. So there was one load like I mentioned, but it fell through. The shipper moved it at a cheaper price. So I'm heading west, but I don't want to go home today yet, you know. Might as well enjoy the food, and the weather's good. And today's Friday, so I'm just gonna go. I'm trying to find this, you know, using my truck stop directory. And this is not an endorsement, like they don't pay me. I just love this book. But as it turns out, it doesn't have all the truck stops, right? I thought it was pretty much dead on, and then I started using Tracker Path. Get ready for the beep. Cool. Alright, I know there's one where I stayed last time I was here. I think I was still with Landstar. Saint Libois. Yeah, that's the one. I'm not sure how to pronounce half of these words in Quebec. Come on, where are you? Yeah, it's Big Stop Irving, TCH20, Trans-Canada Highway number 20, exit 145. So let's see if this thing will find it. Okay, truck stop and service. What? It found it? A ring. Okay, let's show info. Sometimes that very useful. So okay, this way, exit 145. Most often they don't give you the address, but I usually look at the phone number. So 793-2000, and then just confirm 793-2000. Hey, perfect. Done. Select fastest. Oh, 187 kilometers. Jeez, that's 2 hours of driving. Might as well, because yeah, I'm near Quebec City. I don't want to stay here. Like, there's no truck stops here, as far as I can tell. That one has a nice restaurant. I think they even have showers, but I don't have any points to use there. Maybe I'll buy a shower. And they have free Wi-Fi, and usually especially before the weekend, there's lots of parking. So let's go. And I made it to the truck stop, and I just wanted to show you guys the look through my passenger window. All classic trucks. Well, except the red is Freightliner Cascadia, but look over here, we have silver Western Star classic, then we have a Peterbilt, and then after the red Freightliner there's something else, I cannot see what, something silver, and then there's a blue Kenworth W900. And on this side we have nothing. Like, oh, there's a Kenworth in there, and they have one of those fancy, you know, sleepers with a big door in the sleeper, and they just open the door, and I see people sitting there having time of their life. Actually, I parked next to them, like a couple of spots away, and I was ready to leave, and then I realized my mistake. You see how this guy is going? Because those are the pumps over there. So when the people are leaving from the pumps, look where the nose of his truck is. You see? And I was parked over there, and of course my truck is pretty long, and even though my rear axle now, you can see it in the mirror, my rear axle is now in the air, so the last axle, the middle one, is pretty much on the edge of the pavement because there's a field behind me. So this is as far as I can go. And you see, my truck, I don't know how these guys do it. My truck still sticks out. Oh, that's why, because this guy is a dry van. See, and he put his tires on the field pretty much. Yeah, that's why. And so I parked there, and I saw a guy just pretty much, you know, turning in front of me, and I figured, wait a second, so these guys are gonna be doing it all night and all day tomorrow. Forget that, you know. So I moved here. It's a beautiful day today, and the truck stop is empty, so I'm just gonna go and have the first meal of the day. Believe it or not, all I had was coffee, and I had one of those what is it, like chocolate and sea salt bar. You know, I like those because they don't have a lot of sugar in them, and just like 5 grams of protein, but they're very tasty. And that's all I had. It's almost 7 o'clock now. I had one coffee and this bar, and then I was drinking lots of water. I love buying this, you know, big bottles, because those smaller ones, it's a scam. Like, you can buy this one, right? 1 gallon, 3.7 liters. It was like $1.89 US. So I know I buy it when I'm in Canada. My local Walmart at Cambridge sells it for, I think it's like less than $1 Canadian, like 99 cents, I think. So it's amazing. The only time when you gotta be careful with these is, you know, when you leave your truck, like for a couple of days, because that's plastic, right? And it gets very hot inside, and it's not very good. But when I know that I'll be driving, let's say I just picked up a load and I'm going, you know, to my delivery, I buy this because I know that I'm gonna finish it, like, usually I finish it like 2-3 days. And when you have water, so that's my rule now, I always have water in the truck, and I noticed that it helps my health, you know, and I look a bit better when I don't drink water and I only drink coffee. Like, the skin starts looking weird, you get those bags under the eyes, you know. So if you're over 50, drink lots of water. That's my advice. Okay, off to that first meal of the day, or maybe second meal of the day. And then tomorrow, so I'm gonna relax today, and tomorrow it's about 6 hours, maybe 6.5 to Cambridge. Tomorrow's Saturday, so I'll be there Saturday afternoon and relax Sunday. There's no loads for Monday. Monday I'll be off too. So basically it's one long weekend for Uncle Sergey. Well, thanks for watching. This was the last video in this Volvo excavator adventure. Have a good weekend, guys and gals. See ya.